विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण
Krishna
चैतन्य
Chaitanya
प्रभु
Prabhu
नित्यानंद
Nityananda
श्री
Sri
अद्वैत
Advaita
गदाधर
Gadadara
श्रीवासादि
Srivasadi
गौर
Gaur
Radhe Radhe
भक्त
Bhaktavinda
हरे
Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna
कृष्णा
Krishna
कृष्णा
Krishna
हरे
Hare
Radhe
Hare
राम
Hare
Hare
हरे
Ram
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram, Hare
Ram Hare
Hare.
If anyone would like to share what we discussed in our last session?
I can try, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare
Uh,
Krishna.
we were on chapter 5, and I think the whole starting point of chapter 5 is that Arjuna is perplexed about understanding that should I be renunciating from the karma, or should I be doing the karma in Krishna conscious or devotion? I think Krishna beautifully explains it by various examples. And what we learned from, with your help last Sunday, was that the bhakti yoga is better than anything else. So just doing renunciation like a Mayavadi and stopping to the work is not good as compared to doing every action with Krishna in center and uh, doing it bhakti yoga. And we had a couple of key things to take away. One was that Sankhya yoga and bhakti yoga are talking about the same thing. When we say Sankhya yoga says that you detach from the material stuff, you understand that Krishna is good, but bhakti yoga talks about attachment to Krishna, which is a continuation if you have to related to your goal, that we detach from material and fruitive actions, but we attach to Krishna and to his bhakti and serving him. And I think the key learning is that bhakti yoga is the best way to go forward in our spiritual journey and towards our goal to Godhead.
Yes. So, rightly mentioned, nicely summarized what we discussed here in last classes. So, here Krishna is clarifying that even though there are two paths, one is path of devotional service, that is path of bhakti, and another is path of renunciation. Both ends with the same result, but here Krishna is making conclusion. What is that? Unless one is engaged, I'll just pull up Bhagavad Gita. So here so here in the sixth verse Krishna is mentioning. So what he is saying is, unless one is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, mere renunciation of activities cannot make one happy. Even though result is same, previous verse Krishna is mentioning result is same and also attained by the works in devotion. Both result is same, but this path is more joyful. Path of devotional service is more joyful and filled with happiness. This is what Krishna is mentioning, and by doing so, one gets purified and achieve the supreme without delay. he attains the Supreme Personality of Godhead without any delay. He can experience the presence of Krishna, one can experience the presence of Krishna without any delay. So we'll start with the next verse today, verse number 7. All of you please join in chanting the shloka. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma
Yoga-yukta visattama
vijitatma jitendriya
vijatatma jitendriya
sarvabhutatma bhutatma
sarvabhutatma
kurvanapi na lipyate.
kurvapranalipyate.
Anyone would like to chant the shloka?
Shuddhatma vitatma jitendriya
योगो युक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विचितात्मा जितेन्द्रिय सर्वभूतात्मा भूतात्मा कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते.
Wonderful. Yes, someone else?
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रिय सर्वभूतात्मा भूतात्मा कुर्वन् अपि न लिप्यते.
Wonderful. Someone else?
Yoga Yukto go ahead. Mataji,
Yes.
go ahead.
Okay. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyah sarvabhutatma bhutatma kurvan api na lipyate.
Wonderful. Someone else?
Yoga Yukto Vishyatma Vijyatma Jitendriya Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma Kurvannapi na Lipyate.
Someone else?
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रिय सर्वभूतात्म भूतात्मा कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते.
Yes, someone else?
योगयुक्तो विशुद्धात्मा विजितात्मा जितेन्द्रिय सर्वभूतात्म भूतात्मा कुर्वन्नपि न लिप्यते.
Wonderful. Yes, someone else? Someone else would like to chant? Alright, we'll read the translation. Very nice, beautiful verse. It is each and every word, translation if you read, it's a very wonderful verse. Read translation. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. So in the previous session, I guess, one question was there about a person who is working, or a person who is working in Krishna consciousness, a person who is known as karmi, or a person who is karma yogi. So that difference we understood in the last class. A person who works for enjoyment, he is working, and in general you might have also heard people work with a spirit like, this is my sweat and blood earning, I want to enjoy each and every penny of it. So such a person who works very hard day and night is known as karmi. Whereas karma yogi is the one who work for the pleasure of the Lord, for the pleasure of Krishna, and that work helps him to liberate, that work helps him to relate or develop relationship with Krishna, directly or indirectly. That work, or a person who is performing that kind of work, is known as karma yogi. So in this Karma Yogi, there are two categories. Anyone would like to share? Earlier also we have discussed a bit. Anyone remember? Any guess?
Karam Yogi 1, who gives up the fruit of his Karam. Karam Yogi number 2, who wants the fruits of his Karam. So in both the cases, Krishna is nowhere in the center. Whereas in the part 2, where he gives up the fruit, he does all his action keeping Krishna in the center.
Yes. So there are two types of Karma Yogi. One is Sakam Karma Yogi and Nishkam Karma Yogi. Sakam Karma Yogi is the one who works following the rules and regulations for the pleasure of Krishna. But yes, in return, he also wants something to fulfill his own desires. He needs something. So that kind of Karma Yogi is known as Sakam Karma Yogi. Yes, still Sakam means with, Sa means with, Akama means to have desires. Sakam Karma Yogi. So that Karma Yogi, he works for the pleasure of Krishna, but in return he also needs something. Just like government officers, some of the government officers, they do work, but in return they need bribe, some kind of commission they need. So that we can relate to Sakam Karma Yogi. And they are also known as Karma Mishra Bhaktas. Their bhakti is there, but it is that karmi mentality, fruitive mentality. Mishra means mixed with fruitive mentality. And second is Nishkam Karma Yogi. Nishkam means they don't have any desire for their own sense enjoyment or their own fulfillment of material desires. They are working or performing actions for the pleasure of Krishna. So here Krishna is going to talk about Nishkam Karma Yogi. So what he is saying? Yoga Yukta. Yukta means which is equipped with or which is filled with. Just like, now that advertisement maybe no longer it may be there, but they used to be just like in doodh, milk, they say it's yukta, filled with various, it's filled with cream, it's filled with some nutrients like that. Yukta word they used to use to promote various aspect of that particular product. It's filled with or equipped with. So yoga yukta means what? Yunjate means in connection with that supreme Lord. That is yoga yukta is equipped with Vishuddha Atma. Vishuddha means pure. Vishuddha means completely pure. Purified soul, Prabhupada has translated as Vijitatma Jitendriya. Vijitatma is Atma means Atma has lot of meaning. In Sanskrit language, it is very contextual. So Atma refers or has a lot of meaning. Atma sometimes refers to body, Atma refers to mind, Atma refers to soul. So that depends upon context. So here Vijita Atma, Atma means self-controlled. Jita means one who has completely conquered. Vijita Atma, Jitendriya, conquered whom? Jitendriya, Indriya means senses. He has conquered over his senses. Sarva Bhutatma, Bhutatma. Sarva means all the living entities. Bhuta means entities, living entities. Sarva means all living entities. So here if you see how Prabhupada has translated is compassionate to all living beings. Sarva Bhutatma, Bhutatma. Kurvan apina lipyate. Although kurvan means he is performing work, apina na means not, lipyate means entangled. Even though he is performing work, he is not entangled. So one who works in devotion, yoga yuktatma, who is pure, vishuddhatma, who controls his mind and senses, vijittatma jitendriya. His self-control means he has control over his mind, and jitendriya, indriya means senses, he has control over his senses also. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma is dear to everyone and everyone is dear to. Though always working, is always engaged in working. Such a man is not entangled, is never entangled. He is working but he is not entangled. We read the purport and understand more in detail. One who is on the path of liberation by Krishna consciousness is very dear to living being, to every living being, and every living being is dear to him. This is due to his Krishna consciousness. Such a person cannot think of any living being as separate from Krishna, just as the leaves and branches of tree are not separate from the tree. He knows very well that by pouring water on the roots of the tree, the water will be distributed all over the leaves and branches, or by supplying food to the stomach, the energy is automatically distributed throughout the body. Because one who works in Krishna consciousness is servant to all, he is very dear to everyone. And because everyone is satisfied by his work, he is pure in consciousness. Because he is pure in consciousness, his mind is completely controlled, and because his mind is completely controlled, his senses are also controlled. Because his mind is always fixed on Krishna, there is no chance of being deviated from Krishna, nor is there chance that he will engage his senses in matter other than the service of the Lord. He does not like anything, he does not like to hear anything except topics related to Krishna. He does not like to eat anything which is not offered to Krishna. He does not wish to go anywhere if Krishna is not involved. Therefore, his senses are controlled. So here, we'll read complete purport, then we'll discuss more in detail. A man of controlled senses cannot be offensive to anyone. One may ask, why then was Arjuna offensive in the battle to others? Wasn't he in Krishna consciousness? Arjuna was only superficially offensive because he has already been explained in the second chapter. All the assembled persons on the battlefield would continue to live individually as the soul cannot be slain. So spiritually, no one was killed on battlefield of Kurukshetra. Only their dresses were changed by the order of Krishna, who was personally present. Therefore, Arjuna, while fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, was not really fighting at all. He was simply carrying out the orders of Krishna in full Krishna consciousness. Such a person is never entangled in the reaction of. So, very interesting things Prabhupada has mentioned here. So, Krishna is mentioning about Nishkama Karma Yogi. So, this Nishkama Karma Yogi, he performs the work which is completely filled with devotion, and because he is completely absorbed, his heart is completely filled with devotion, he has now attained, or he has now completely got purified. So he has a control over his mind and senses. and by doing so, he is dear to everyone, everyone is dear to him. In further verses, Bhagavad Gita, we are going to read or see how a person who is situated in the transcendental knowledge, how he see the world, how he see the entire world. He see the entire world in relationship with Krishna. Whether it may be a dog, an elephant, or a brahmana, or some worm, or any such living entity. He relate all those living entities as a part and parcel of Krishna. He sees that all these living entities is present, and Krishna is also accompanying that jiva. So he develops respect for each and every living entity. Whether some other living entity may have enmity towards this karma yogi, nishkama karma yogi, or a devotee, but this devotee, he will not have any enmity. He will deal on the platform which is free from such ego or such enmity. Just like most of you, I am hoping that you must have seen this movie on Narasimha Dev, or read the pastime of Lord Narasimha in Srimad Bhagavatam. So even though Prahlad Maharaj, he was a great devotee, he was one of the Mahajana, he was completely surrounded by non-devotees, or to the people who were very envious of him, having different degrees of enmity. Even his own father, but he never ever have a tinge of envious thought for any one of them. He was always thinking of their well-being only. He was always thinking of their well-being. To the extent, when Lord Narasimha he appeared, he offered his prayer, and he is praying that, my Lord, I do not wish to go from this material world until and unless all the living entities, they are liberated. They are liberated. So that is the compassion a Vaishnava carries in his heart. A Vaishnava is known as Para Dukkha Dukhi. Seeing others in pain, a Vaishnava feels himself also to be in the pain. Whereas in the material world or so-called corporate world, their philosophy is Para Dukkha Sukhi. By seeing others in pain, they feel happy. Yes, he is gone. He is in pain, his future is gone. So they feel different kind of bliss or happiness. So such person, it is a test for us also. By seeing others in pain, how do we see, or by seeing others happy, how do we react? This is just like suppose someone is happy. Now if he is happy for material things, you may also experience, oh, so nice, he is happy. No, that is not reality. Seeing others materially happy, a devotee gets even more pain. Let's see how ignorant is this person. Death is waiting for him. Anytime he may leave. Anytime something will happen. Alas, he has not attained Krishna consciousness. So Vaishnava, he feel very sorry or very bad for such person. So it's not like always if someone else is happy, you are also happy. In what terms or in what means he is happy, or what is giving him happiness or sorrow or distress, that makes a Vaishnava happy or dukhi or sad. Just like, Prabhupada, he was very well situated in Vrindavan. He was in comfort zone, having that spiritual luxury to stay in Vrindavan, to chant, to have nice darshan. He was doing all that. But seeing people to be in ignorance, a Vaishnava feel very compassionate upon other living entities. We want to help other living entities come out of that ignorance. For that reason, even though he was situated or he was settled in Vrindavan, he used to travel to Delhi to print books, magazines, and distribute them. He used to travel once in a week or alternative weeks. Sometimes he is taking train, going by bus, various such means he is traveling, just to give this knowledge to the entire world in whatever ways and means it is possible, especially by printing books or magazines. So he used to, in the night, he used to write those books, write those magazines, and he used to travel to Delhi to print the books. He used to collaborate with the printers, do proofreading, and then he used to print. And those days, getting paper was also not easy. You need to have authorization to get the paper to print the anything. So that also he used to manage. And after printing, books are printed, he used to distribute those books to the people. He used to go to cafe, various public places, meeting people and distributing them. And to print book itself requires money. For that, he used to meet people and raise the donations. Through donations, he used to print the books. On such occasion, when he was doing that, he was standing in front of one house. So that publisher, he was passing by in his car. He saw the Swamiji is standing. He just passed by. And that publisher was one of the very big publisher. So he passed by. After a few hours, when this publisher has finished his work and he is returning back, again he saw Swamiji is standing at that very same place. He stopped the vehicle and asked, "I've seen like you are standing here. What has happened? Is there anything I can do for you?" He said, "No, for printing books or printing this, magazines, this person is there. Every month he contributes 5 rupees so that I can print the books. So every month he gives me 5 rupees. So today I am waiting for him so that he can come and give that 5 rupees so that I can continue my printing work and publish the books or magazines." So he said, "Swamiji, don't stand here. It is very sunny. It's very hot. Your health," because by that time Prabhupada was already some 67, 68 years old. So he requested, "I will give you 10 rupees, but don't stand here. 2-3 hours were passed by. Don't stand here. I'll give you 10 rupees. You come with me." So Prabhupada said, "Every month will you give 10 rupees?" He said, "Yes, every month I'll give 10 rupees." He said, okay, I'll come in some time. Don't worry. I'll just collect 5 rupees. And then I'll come to you and collect 10 rupees also. So here, if we see, the intention of Prabhupada is not, okay, I just want to collect money and print the books. The intention is, I want to give benefit to this jiva also, to this living entity also. At least he'll get some opportunity to serve Krishna, by which his existence will get purified. In that way, a Vaishnava or a devotee shows compassion to the living entity by engaging them in serving Krishna by various ways and means. Either there are different ways and means we can serve Krishna by through our prana, artha, diya, vacha. So a devotee try to engage all the living entities in the service of Krishna so that these people can get free from the clutches of material existence, from the clutches of Maya. Then Prabhupada, again he struggled to distribute the books, because distributing books or magazines is not easy. People are not keen to read the books. So on such occasion, when he is in the hot sunny summer day, when he is near Red Fort, when he is distributing the books, one bull came and hit Prabhupada and he got unconscious. It was very hot day. He's lying on the ground. Like that, he struggled a lot just to give this knowledge to the entire world. That is his only vision. So while preaching in America, a lot of white people are there, foreigners are there, preaching them. So Prabhupada, he gradually from America to Europe to India, also various other areas, Africa, Australia, Russia, like that preaching was expanding. So when preaching is expanding even in Africa, so a lot of people, Africa is very backward place. So one day Prabhupada, he went in Africa to visit some center. So what happened, Prabhupada, he was wearing clothes, and those clothes his assistant washed and he dried. So generally devotees or sannyasi, they carry only 2 sets of clothes. So next day when he went to get the Prabhupada's cloth back, Prabhupada's cloth is not there, his dhoti is not there, his kurta is not there. So somehow he managed, he wore the yesterday's cloth and he managed somehow and went and gave the association, gave the lecture. So while giving lecture, he saw few African devotees, they came wearing Prabhupada dhoti and kurta, and they are sitting there and hearing Prabhupada lecture, association. So seeing this, Prabhupada, he felt very bad, like how people, they are very poverty stricken, they don't have discrimination, they don't know Maryada Vyatikrama, they don't have any such, what we say in general is manners, they don't know any such things. So Prabhupada was like, we have to train them a lot. There is a long way to go. It's not like they are like this. It's like we have to train them. We have to help them come to that level. And always, as usual, you all must be knowing, Americans or white people, they don't like African or black people. So one such day, one white devotee, foreigner devotee, American, he went and told Prabhupada. He was engaged, and there was a lot of African devotees, black devotees. He told Prabhupada, like he addressed them, How can we preach to these Negroes? Africans or these black people are known as Negroes. How we can preach to them? They're so uncivilized, this and that. We cannot preach to them. These Negroes, we cannot preach. So Prabhupada replied, you are saying them Negro, they are black Negro, and you are a white Negro. You are also Negro. So like that, Prabhupada said to this American disciple. So if we see how a devotee is free from all such upadhis, is not seeing a person to be a white or to be a black, to be a male or to be a female. Devotee, a person who is completely pure, he is above all these things. He is simply engaged for the pleasure of Krishna. For him, everyone is same. Everyone is dear to him. If someone has served him nicely, that person is also dear to him. A person who is his enemy is also very dear to him. Just like if you see Dronacharya, even though he know very well that Ashwathama in the future is going to kill me, will be the cause of my death. Still, Dronacharya, he trained Ashwathama. He trained Ashwathama. He gave him this knowledge of how to become a Kshatriya. So that is the quality of a pure devotee, or that is the quality of a person who is a Brahmana. Once this incident comes in one of the Purana. Once Narad Muni, he was, Narad Muni is a, again, pure devotee, liberated person, he is a Mahajana. So he can travel all over the universe. In the entire existence, he can travel anywhere. When he was passing, he was going to Prayagraj, Sangam. So he was passing by the forest. So in the forest, he saw that few animals, they are lingering with some pain. They are, in very painful situation, experiencing a lot of pain. So seeing this, because a devotee cannot see others in pain, so seeing this, Narad Muni, he revived, freed them from the pain. But the thing is, he wanted to understand or figure out the cause or the reason of their pain. So what he did, he hid himself to see who is the cause of their pain. What is the cause of their pain? So when Narad Muni hid himself, he saw one hunter is there, and this hunter is shooting arrows to these animals in such a way they are half killed. They are not completely killed, they are half killed. Means life is there in the body, but they are unable to do anything. They cannot move, they cannot walk, they cannot do anything, but life is there in the body. With such pain, they are suffering. So Narad Muni, he immediately came out and approached this hunter and inquired from him, why you are doing like this? And hunter, seeing Narad Muni, first time he has encountered some devotee, and seeing Narad Muni, he got little, like, he tried to hide himself. This hunter, he tried to hide himself. Narad Muni asked him, please come out, and why you are doing like this? If you want to kill, why don't you kill them completely? Why you are making them suffer like this in such a painful situation? So this hunter, he replied, it gives me great joy to see them suffering. to see them going through this pain. It's given me a great joy. So Narad Muni further he said, do you know you also have to suffer and go through the same pain that you have given to them? To this hunter he says, I have learned this art of killing them half from my father, and my father has learned from his father. Like that, generations after generations, we are killing in the same way. So what is wrong in that? What is wrong in that? So Narad Muni said, because you are killing them like this, you have to suffer the same intense pain that you are giving to them. And that is the law of nature, law of karma. Because Narad Muni, he is a devotee, he is a pure devotee, and by having such association of pure devotee, now gradually this hunter who is known as Mrigari is gradually getting purified. He said, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kaya, Nava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Haya. By having association of a sadhu, for even for a moment, lava means fraction of a second, means for a moment, a person, he can attain all siddhis, all perfections, and he can understand the purport of the Vedas, of all the scriptures, Sarva Shastra Kaya. He can understand the purport or the essence of all the Vedas, all the scriptures. So now this hunter, with very humble this thing, he asked Narad Muni, please guide me or help me how I can get free from such sinful reaction that is destined for me. How I can get free from such sinful reaction. So Narad Muni, he guided him that you do one thing, whatever you have earned from this sinful profession, from this sinful activity, give away everything in the charity to the Brahmanas. Whatever you have, you give away everything, throw this bow and arrow and give away everything to the Brahmanas in the charity. And prepare one small hut, keep tulsi and chant this, the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram
Ram
Ram.
Ram.
So this advice Narad Muni gave to this Mrigari. Then Mrigari said, you have asked me to renounce or to give away everything in charity, then how I will maintain my family? How I will maintain my family? How I will take care of my family, my livelihood, all those things? How I will do that? So now Narad Muni said, you do not worry for that. You just absorb yourself in chanting the holy name of the Lord. So as per the instructions of Narad Muni, he went back and he gave away everything in the charity and he started chanting. 1 or 2 days passed, he is chanting. And when he is engaged in chanting throughout the day, this news spread like a forest fire in the entire village. Have you heard this Mrigari, the great hunter, left hunting and has become a sadhu, has become a devotee, is now chanting, just like in your family members, in your family you must have seen, when you follow Krishna consciousness, when you chant, Hare Krishna mantra, some fixed number of rounds, suppose somebody, those who are chanting 16 rounds, they might have experienced this. They chant and they, wear Tulsi Mala also. So when you visit some family function or some wedding also, people are like, oh, what has happened to so and so person's son? He has, see what he has done. He has become a devotee. So like that, people get so much curious and inquisitive. What has happened? He has become a, how come, what is the cause of his, this thing? His situation, he has become a devotee. He has taken up this path. So like this, in the entire village, this news is spread that how come this hunter became devotee? It was like a miracle. And to see this miracle, everyone is visiting Mrigari, this hunter. And when they are visiting, they are carrying somebody is carrying some fruits, somebody is carrying rice, somebody is carrying some grains. Because when you visit something, it's a general etiquette. You carry something and you as a present. So everyone is carrying something, and like that, this Mrigari, who was worried of his well-being or his livelihood, he is getting lot of such things: fruits, vegetables, grains, pulses, this and that. His small hut is completely filled with all such stuffs. He has no space to keep all these items. So he is now worried. I was like he is thinking. I was worrying for my livelihood. Now Narad Muni has sent lot of items. Now what to do? So like that he was filled with gratitude, like my spiritual master Narad Muni, how he has arranged everything. I was worrying for my livelihood. Now everything is taken care so nicely. So after some time, again Narad Muni he was passing by. Now this time he is along with his brother known as Parvata Muni, and they have a very friendly relationship also. So when he is passing by, so Narad Muni asked Parvat Muni, I have a disciple here. So while going, I'll just like to visit him. So can we visit him? So Parvat Muni said, who is your disciple? He said, Narad Muni, he is a hunter. He is known as Mrigari. Mrigari the hunter. So Parvat Muni was like, you are not even left hunter. Because if you see Narad Muni disciples are of different varieties. Serpent is his disciple, a snake. Narad Muni has a snake as a disciple, demon as a disciple, a kid as a disciple. So many different varieties of disciple, or this hunter as a disciple. So Parvat Muni was jokingly, he was laughing. You have not even left hunter also. You have made him also a devotee. Okay, we'll visit him. So both of them they visited, and this Mrigari came to know my spiritual master Narad Muni has come to visit me. Immediately he left everything and he is running towards Narad Muni. So when he is running towards Narad Muni, while going, sometime he is bumping, limping, and he is walking in a different way. Not usually a person walks. Sometimes he is jumping, like that he is walking in a very abnormal way. So Parvat Muni was like, asked Narad Muni, is your disciple is having any issues? Is not able to walk properly? So Narad Muni was like, let us wait. Once he is here, we'll ask him only. So this Nagari he came, and as soon as he came to Narad Muni and Parvat Muni, he immediately paid obeisances. And Parvat Muni he asked Nagari, why you were walking like that? So Mrigari replied, while I was coming, there were a lot of ants were there who were passing by the path. So seeing them, I was not able to place my foot properly. So my walking was looking as though it is very abnormal. So if we see how who is a cruel hunter who is killing animals without any mercy, not showing any mercy, has transformed a lot, that he is not even willing to kill an ant. He is not even willing to kill an ant. So that is the power of devotion, bhakti. A person who is a bhakti yogi or a nishkama karma yogi is none other than bhakti yogi. He is very dear to everyone. Everyone is very dear to him. Everyone is very dear to him. All the living entities are very dear to him. So now, here one question may come. Now every living entity is dear to him. So does that mean a tiger or a lion is also dear, is also equal? We should see equally, oh, Krishna is there in this tiger or a lion as a Paramatma. So let me embrace this tiger. Let me remain here. Nothing will happen. This lion or tiger cannot do anything. So let me embrace him. So can we do like that?
No, no,
Why?
no.
Why?
As they have no intelligence. Their consciousness is very less. Because
Then
human
we are seeing others as some with some differences. We are not seeing others to be equal.
intelligence.
Okay. Anyone else?
Ignorance, knowledge.
Okay.
I
Anyone
think
else?
as you said that the good qualities of Vaishnava or the devotee should be that okay, and I'm telling through my own experience, so I know, but I'll say that for such things, uh, make the person aware of Krishna consciousness journey. If they choose the path, fine, but do not go and attach and embrace yourself and put yourself into danger of you getting derailed from your own bhakti and um, path of Krishna.
Yes. Anyone else? Yes. Anyone else would like to share? All right. So basically, in what terms we have to see them equally is they are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is present in them as a Paramatma, but they have acquired this body which is under the influence of modes of material nature, which is under the influence, under the control of these modes of material nature. So we have to have a relationship, or we have to give them due respect. We have to give them due respect. We cannot have a relationship with an elephant to that of as a friend. Just like you are, have a relationship with a friend. You are very, nicely talking to him, embracing him, this or that. You cannot do that with a lion because every one of us are under the influence of modes of material nature and we are acting on that platform. So same way we have to accordingly deal with the jivas. We have to give them due respect. We shall not see them as our enemy or some kind of enmity or such thing. But same time we have to understand that they are the part and parcel of Lord and we have to give them that due respect also. We move to the next verse number 8 and 9. So I'll read by myself. करोमिति युक्तो मन्यते तत्त्ववित् श्रवन् स्पर्शन् जिघ्रन् अश्नन् गच्छन् स्वप्नस्पशन् प्रलपन् विसृजन् गृह्णन् निमिषन् निमश्नन् अपि इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्त इति धारयन्. So here in this verse, now Krishna is going to explain the qualities of a Nishkama Karma Yogi. So we read the translation. A person in divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving, about sleeping and breathing always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them. So, here two things are there. First thing is, he is always in divine consciousness. And what is that divine consciousness? That he is always engaged in thinking of Krishna. His mind is completely absorbed in Krishna. Second is even though he is having senses and those senses are interacting with the sense objects, those senses are interacting with the sense object, but he knows very well what he knows, that he is different from these senses. Then who he is? He is that spirit soul, he is Atma. He is not these senses, he is not this body. He is very well aware of this fact, that he is different from these senses itself. Just like Krishna in the second verse, he mentioned what he mentioned. With what analogy? Anyone would like to share what analogy he gave for a devotee? Or when we were discussing that Sthita Pragna, anyone?
Verse number chapter 2. Chapter 54 verse.
With what analogy Krishna he related a person who is a Sthita Pragna or a devotee? How he deals with the senses? Anyone? Quick.
Prabhuji, all his senses are engaged in the service of Krishna. That is what he said. First, you go by listening, hearing, association. That is what it's referred to.
No, analogy I am asking. Analogy. Yes. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think in second chapter he has given the analogy of a tortoise. That
Anyone else?
54 verses chapter 2.
Huh?
समाधिस्थ स्थितोधि प्रभासित
Analogy. What analogy Krishna gave? Analogy.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Symptoms of Chitta Prabha, which his consciousness, transcendence, speak,
That is
language.
okay. Analogy I am asking. What example Krishna gave?
I think it's about the flame, right? I just googled. Sorry, Prabhuji. I did not remember. Google. It says that.
I think by that time you had not joined the session itself. What I remember.
So it says a steady lamp in a windless spot compares the mind, or Krishna compares the mind of the yogi to a flame that does not flicker in the windless place.
Quality of any man. The quality.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
Prabhuji, are we referring to the aircraft? I'm not sure.
Who said?
Ruchira.
Oh, Krishna time that those aircrafts were there.
You discussed about something like this. Okay.
Okay. Very high tech you are. Nice. So Krishna gave the analogy of a tortoise. How a tortoise, he retracts his limbs back into the body. Same way, a devotee, he engages the senses in such a way when it is required, he engages those senses in the service of Krishna. But when it is not required, he retracts those senses back into the shell. So that analogy he gave, and Deepakji, you have rightly guessed, Not guessed, but rightly answered. Guess
Okay,
is
I thought
you
you
have
did not get.
aircraft, that is guess. Or some other examples like wind or flame, that is guess. Answer is tortoise. Krishna gave the tortoise. So same way, here Krishna is mentioning, even though the senses are interacting with the sense objects, he is not influenced by it. He is not influenced. He is very much aware, and he is acting on a platform where he knows that he is different from these sense objects. He is aloof from them. So that's how a Nishkam Karam Yogi acts. So we'll read the purport, then we'll try to understand. A person in Krishna consciousness is pure in his existence. Consequently, he has nothing to do with any work which depends upon five immediate and remote causes. What are the five immediate and remote causes? Is the doer, karta, the work, karya, the situation, the endeavor, and the fortune. This is because he is engaged in transcendental loving service of Krishna. Although he appears to be acting with his body and senses, he is always conscious of his actual position, which is spiritual engagement. Very important line here. It is, I'll just mark it. In material consciousness, the senses are engaged in sense gratification, but in Krishna consciousness, senses are engaged in the satisfaction of Krishna senses. Therefore, Krishna conscious person is always free, even though he appears to be engaged in the things of senses. Activities such as seeing, hearing, speaking, decorating are actions of senses meant for work. A Krishna conscious person is never attached, affected by the action of the senses. He cannot perform any act except in the service of the Lord, because he knows that he is eternal servitor of the Lord. So in Krishna consciousness, even though a devotee or a person who is practicing Krishna consciousness, he is also appears, even though it may appears to be, he is also doing the work, he is also eating, he is also sleeping, he is also, just like people, they construct buildings, he is also engaged in construction work, building temples. He is also going to hospital if he is unwell. Although he is doing all these things, all the work he is doing, what is the difference? Difference is beneficiary is Krishna. Here beneficiary, who is the beneficiary? I am the beneficiary. I am doing for myself, my own gratification, for my own satisfaction. Whereas a devotee is doing completely for the satisfaction of Lord, for the satisfaction of Krishna, for the satisfaction of Krishna. And he is very well aware. What is that in the third chapter we read? Third chapter, 27th verse. Anyone can open and read. Third chapter, 27th verse. I think none of you has Bhagavad Gita only. Please, yes. I think you are mute. Everyone is mute.
Prakrite
I was reading that.
Prakrite Kriyamanani. This one verse probably.
Yes, this only. Prakate kriya manani gune karmani
Gune
sarvasha.
karmani sarvasya. Yeah.
Ahankara
Ahankara
viduthatma
vidudatma.
karta
Karta amayati manyati.
Translation.
The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature.
Yes. So a person who is in knowledge, he is very well aware that whatever work is done, this work is done by, carried out by the three modes of material nature. Whereas, a person who is situated in knowledge, he understands that work is carried out by the arrangement of the Prakriti by the modes of material nature. And this Prakriti is acting under Krishna's direction. That is, Devi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Durataya. That this Devi Esha, this Maya, this my energy, Prakriti is working under my direction. He is very well aware of it. So he never ever get entangled in that. Whereas the person who is not situated in knowledge, what he does, he thinks, I to be the doer. I am the doer. I am performing the work. I am performing the work. I am the doer. He thinks like that. So, a person who is Krishna conscious, for him, result does not matter. Result does not matter much. So what matters for him is engagement. He is doing service so that he can engage himself and get purified. Not that I want this result to attain, I want that result to attain. Not like that. He is simply working for his engagement to purify his existence. He is engaging in the transcendental loving service of Krishna to satisfy Krishna's senses rather than satisfy his own senses. For him, what makes the difference is whether Krishna is satisfied or not. But a person who is ignorant or not situated in this knowledge, for him what matters is whether I am satisfied or not. And this is what we read in previous verse. If we water the roots, then automatically all the leaves and branches will get sufficient nutrition and water will be distributed to all the leaves and branches. But in our case, what we do, we try to water all the leaves and branches separately. We forget the roots itself. So that is very, very important to understand that how a Nishkam Karma Yogi he acts. He is always absorbed in Krishna. He is performing, even though he is engaging all his senses in the service of Lord in such a way that he is not influenced by these material senses. By doing this, he is very, very dear to everyone, and everyone is very dear to him. So with this, we'll close there. Anyone has any questions or anything to ask, please feel free to share or ask. Any questions? Yes. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you mentioned today that a person who is into Krishna conscious, he will get sad to see if somebody is facing some problems in life, the person will be compassionate enough and the person will feel sad. And on the other way, it's also being said that people are getting their karmas back, so we should not be supporting anyone too much, so how does that differ? You say that we should understand that he's facing sufferings because of his past karmas. And then we also say that, we should not be helping them too much. And then we also say that we should be compassionate enough, and we get sad to see somebody's suffering. So how do we manage all this?
Yes, very nice question. Wonderful question. So, in our current stage, what is that which make us really sad is, we'll try to understand with an example. Suppose a person, he has went for swimming and he is drowning. He is drowning. He is wearing clothes and he is drowning. So there are two people, different people. One person is there seeing this person in, he is drowning. He is drowning. So this first person, he sees, oh, this person is drowning. Let me go and save at least his clothes. Let me go and save his clothes. Another person is there. He is seeing this person is drowning. Let me go and save this person. Let me go and save this person. So in this material world, our compassion, our so-called compassion is on bodily platform. Is on bodily platform. Whereas real compassion should be at spiritual level. It's on spiritual platform. What is that? Just like, I'll give an example. Spiritual master of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Who is the spiritual master? Who is the spiritual master of Prabhupada?
Bhakti Siddhant, Swami Bhakti Siddhant Thakur.
Yes, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. So, followers of Subhash Chandra Bose, it was almost like 100 years back, around 1920-25. Those days, Subhash Chandra followers, his people, they came to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and asked him, lot of young people are joining you, lot of young people are becoming sadhu and joining you. Why don't you send them for the fight, for the freedom? Why don't you send them for the fight for the freedom? So here, in general, people, they see we are, fighting for the freedom. But what is the real freedom? Real freedom is to get free from the clutches of Maya, to get free from the clutches of birth and death cycle. That is the real freedom. A person may see, oh, this person is not at all worried for the nation. He is not having any compassion. But what he is seeing, whatever people they are practicing Krishna consciousness or practicing bhakti, these people should at least get liberated from the clutches of birth and death cycle. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, you know what he replied? He replied, these fellows, these people are very weak. See, they are so fragile. Better you leave them. You take for a fighting, you need strong, stout person. So they are of no use for you. You leave them. So he asked them to leave and go away. So our seeing of compassion is seeing on bodily platform. Whereas our compassion should be on spiritual platform. How I can connect this person with Krishna in such a way that at least his journey back to Krishna gets initiates. Just like earlier also I've taken this example, a rich person is there, his son is having some mental illness, he's not having proper, mindset, he's having some mental issues, and because of some reasons, his son, he got lost. So there are people who is taking care by giving some food, some this or that, somehow they are taking care. But a person who knows this oh, you are son of so and so person. So how he will show his compassion? He will show his compassion by taking this son back to his father, rich father, where he is not at all struggling at all. Is not at all struggling. So same way, we have to understand that in our current stage, our compassion, even though compassion, whatever compassion we have, that compassion is there on material platform. And this is what happened. If you see, Arjuna was compassionate, but on material platform. He was compassionate for the people. Oh, if they will die, what will happen? Varna Shankara, this and that. So many such reasons he gave. He was compassion. He was showing his compassion, but that compassion was on material platform. So our compassion also has to be on a spiritual platform where we can really help that jiva to come out of the cycle of birth and death, to go back to Godhead, to go back to Krishna. So we should try to help him in such a way where his relationship, or where his uh, journey for back to Godhead, back to home, back to Krishna initiates. So that is the real compassion. And that compassion will come only when a person who is a devotee or who is practicing Krishna consciousness. Hope this helps you to understand.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, very much.
Anyone else? That question. Even a Vaishnava, he feels very bad also, it's very sad, this I mentioned, by seeing a person who is materially happy. Just like you see Narad Muni, when he saw Nal Kubera and Mani Griva, they were completely absorbed in sense gratification, that opulence, enjoying their senses to the extent that they are not in their presence of mind. Narad Muni has personally come to visit. They're not recognizing, they're completely lost in sense gratification, in that opulence. So Narad Muni, he cursed Nal Kubera and Mani Griva. So a devotee, he feels very sad for a person who is completely absorbed in sense gratification, who is materially happy, that he has forgotten his own self, his real own self, that he is spirit soul, not this material body. So he cursed in such a way that both this Nal Kubera and Mani Griva, they got a chance to have a darshan of Krishna. They got liberated by seeing Krishna, having darshan of Krishna. So Vaishnava, even though he is a Paradukha Dukhi, he is sad seeing others, he feels compassion seeing others in pain, and he feels even sad seeing others happy but materially happy. So they are different based on what level he is happy. He is on spiritual level or on material level. Vaishnava feels happy or sad for a jiva. He is sad on a spiritual level or suffering on a spiritual level or material level. A Vaishnava feels sad. He experiences or he para dukha dukhi. He is on that accordingly. He is sad for his condition. So that is the thing.
Means even the dump can. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving that insight. But then we will be, most of the times we'll be unhappy because most of the people are not spiritually evolved, or or neither they're involved nor they're trying to get evolved. So I feel we will be more unhappy because on the material level, there are less people who are suffering. But on spiritual level, we have more people who are suffering.
Yes. So in that case, what we have to do is, first thing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says is Janam sarthak kari kare paropakar. First, we have to make our life successful. We should try to make ourselves firmly in Krishna consciousness. Then we should try to help others by giving them Krishna consciousness. So that is what we should try to do. Not like we ourselves are beggar and we are thinking to help other beggar. So that will not help neither us nor that person. If you fly in an aircraft, the instruction that they give is first you have to put on oxygen mask to yourself, then you have to help others. So first we have to firmly situate ourselves in Krishna consciousness. Then that sadness or unhappiness, what you will experience that on a spiritual platform. That will come from within the core of your heart. That compassion will come. Currently, because we are not spiritually evolved, we are not spiritually enlightened, that compassion will be some compassion will be there, no doubt, but that compassion will not help much. So that's why we have to be firmly situate ourselves in Krishna consciousness. Then you will see the compassion or the unhappiness that you will experience, even though you are unhappy for the people who are suffering in this material world. That unhappiness will not influence you. That unhappiness or that sadness will inspire you to give them Krishna consciousness. Just like Prabhupada, when he was going to US, so he is like, oh my Lord, where I am going, this place is completely filled with the people who are ignorant. There is no scarcity of sense enjoyment. They are completely absorbed in such sense enjoyment. Where you are taking me, there is no hope at all. But if you are taking me, there must be some purpose to it. Only by having faith in your holy name, I can do something. Otherwise, it is not possible for me. Very nice, poem Prabhupada he compiles before reaching to US. And today, 14th of September 1965 is the day when Prabhupada he stepped on the land of US, America. First he stepped on Boston, then he went from Boston to New York on 17th of September. So I'll share that it's very, very touching poem. I'll share the meaning. Please take out a minute or two to read at least the translation or the meaning. With this, we'll end here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare